Abundance Deep Dive, day 28, and there's only 2 days left. I thought I'd be really sad that there's only 2 days, but I'm actually looking forward to a little bit of a break after the deep dive of having to blog and vlog at the same time. And it was a challenge that I put on myself, and I'm not sad that I did it. But I'm finding that I want to create more like deep heart-aligned content instead of having to report back what happened in the day. And I think the difference will be better quality. So it's interesting that that's kind of what we were talking about today, which was yesterday actually. I'd done just a little bit of journaling and trying to figure out what the rest of the year is going to look like now that I don't have to worry about my basic needs and that they are taken care of. So what do I want to create? What do I want to do? And I just kind of written out, not a half-assed story, but like a plot twist of what I'd wanted, and I left it at that, and it felt really good. And then I listened to today's chat, which was Steve recommending us plot out what the next 90 days are going to look like. And I thought it was kind of funny because I'm like, oh great, I've already done it. And he's like, so do it, write it all out, 2 or 3 paragraphs, nothing crazy, and then shred it or burn it or trash it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I just spent like a couple of hours thinking about this and really making sure that it's what I wanted, and it is. But he said, just like any first draft, sometimes it's shit. And at this point, we're so excited, and sometimes we're a little bit too mental about what things are supposed to look like. It's too much on the objective side that sometimes you just gotta scrap it and start over. And on the second draft, go to the extreme on the opposite end. So if one way was the objective, then try to go to the subjective and then scrap that. I'm like, what? By the time you get to like the third draft, hopefully it's somewhere in the middle and you kind of ditch some of the fluff and bullshit that we tend to add in, and it becomes a little bit more detail focused and a little bit more heart aligned instead of just what we think we should be doing or what we should be doing from the opposite perspective, meeting halfway in the middle. And when I looked back at mine, I found that I was already playing on the objective side. I went to the extreme from what I normally would have written. So I'm sticking with 2 drafts. And the second part, I had written like, who do I want to become? And nothing was really resonating for that. Something about 90 days and transforming who I want to be doesn't really feel like, not that it's not possible, but that's not a goal that I should be working on, transforming and turning into somebody completely different. I feel like I'm already getting to that heart-aligned space. So what do I really want to create? How do I want to spend my time? Now that I've got at least 120 days of bills taken care of, what do I want to do? And that's where I really got excited. So I just kind of started brainstorming on this just plain piece of paper. And before I knew it, I had 12 ideas of things that I really like doing. And 90 days works out to just shy of 13 weeks. So I needed one more idea. And I thought, well, I really wanted to put movies, like watching movies, on my list. But it seems kind of silly to spend a week watching movies. But whatever, let's just add it to the list, and now I've got 13 things. So then looking at my calendar over the next 90 days, 13 weeks, there's a significant amount of travel that breaks up a lot of the weeks. So I mapped it out in like a colored highlighter on my calendar, and it's crazy that if I'm gonna be doing some kind of deep dive again for myself, that I need to be careful of how I'm actually gonna get things done when I'm driving in a car for 8 hours a couple of times a week. It's not really practical to be writing, massive blog posts to go with that. So out of the 13 items, is there some stuff that can fit perfectly into that? And surprisingly, it did. There's a couple of things that I'm like, you know what, that might not work, or I might change my mind as I go. And I'm okay with that. I'm leaving it up to, if something better comes along or an opportunity comes along to do something that is a little juicier or a little bit more exciting than some of the things they had picked, I'm cool with that. But there's a couple of things on there that are really fitting, like repotting all of my fairy gardens. That's something that I've been meaning to do, so I'm blocking out a week for that. And how much fun is that going to be? I put on there making new friends, and how much fun would that be to actually record that and document that process of how I'm going to go about making new friends that week. And then on the travel days, or right after all of the travel days actually, I've planned all of the Netflix movie watching marathon. So I'll save all of that until that week and then just binge watch all kinds of shows and chill out, and I don't really have anything else on my plate, which is kind of nice after about 6 weeks of crazy travel. So I'm looking at the list, I'm like, you know what, this is not something I've ever done before. It's not something that I couldn't do. Like it never seemed like an actual tangible thing for someone like me who's a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person to adhere to some kind of structure and schedule. And that is kind of like, okay, can I do this? Can I set the intention for the next 90 days, it's not going to kill me, to maintain this and see what might happen. So I'm going to treat it as an experiment, and I've kind of laid everything out week by week, and I can post it right after. Oh, we got someone coming in. My little housemate came home early and interrupted the video. No worries. So I'm going to treat the next 90 days as an experiment to see if someone like me, a non-A-type personality, and I'm talking like I'm total wing it girl, and to actually stick to some kind of regimented schedule for the next 13 weeks seems borderline impossible, but it's also something that I want to see if I can be structured and disciplined to do the work and see what happens. And after the 13 weeks, I will have some serious new skills, and I'll have pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Not a lot, but enough that it'll be a really great growth opportunity. So lots of room for character development and lots of room for fun. I picked all of activities that I really like or that I'm interested in, and it's nice that I can bang that out in the next 90 days. No problem, no worrying about bills, anything like that. I did put some travel on the list, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out just yet. It's closer to the end of the 13 weeks, and it would be a substantial trip in the 4 figures for sure. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, but let's have faith and we'll see what happens. All right, I think that's it for today. I'm looking forward to what the next couple of days are going to bring, and then wrapping up this deep dive. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.